One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his step, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he pays his way. Oh, legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it is a Topless Taco Tuesday. Great to see everyone in the chat, man. And also, I want to give a special shout out to Motobomb and the coffee crew. I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough for coming on over, as well as Motobomb for setting that raid up, man. I very much appreciate that. All right, we got an interesting morning. Not super heavy in the media, but it's probably because it's being overran by one story. And as you guys see, I have it titled, New Batch of Epstein Files Released Mentions Trump, and then I put, and more. So anyways, that is the main story for today. And I truthfully have not even watched or know any information about what has come out in these files yet. So we're going to find this out together, right? But anyways, let me go ahead and give you guys the lineup of what we're looking at for today. DHS, $3,000 for undocumented migrants to self-deport. And yes, I did see that come out. I think it was yesterday morning. I think I saw it after the show. I can't really remember, but nonetheless, I did see it, and they were like, "Yeah, well, we're gonna give you $3,000 to go back home. You know, it's the holidays, and we'll pay for your ticket back home and shit." I was like, "Man, I bet you a lot of people actually take that up." And then on the same topic of immigration, as you guys know, Kilmar Abrego Garcia will remain free through Christmas. Judge rules. Bruh. Brutal. And then we also have San Francisco power outage that happened yesterday. Thousands were still in the dark, and it says still in the dark from then. So this must have happened, if I had to guess, maybe Sunday early or Monday early morning. That's what I'm guessing. But nonetheless, you know, we're going to cover all of that. And then we also have a new battleship that Trump just announced yesterday, I believe it was. Yes. Trump unveils Navy battleship plan as Venezuela tensions flare. So it's the plan, not the battleship, not a new battleship, but it's a plan. Anyways, we got Mexican Navy medical plane crash in Texas, and 3 have died. And this just was a little bit, I think, yesterday evening as well. So very interesting storylines of what's happening in the media right now. And we also have a new I'm looking on the media side. There is a new U.S. strike, low profile, quote unquote, Venezuelan drug boat in Eastern Pacific. That just happened 50 minutes ago. So I have it up, and of course, we're going to be presenting all of these things. So I've got it all in line here. But before we get all into it, man, make sure you guys hit that like button. It helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. And you know what else is free is hitting that subscribe button, so I very much appreciate you guys. But please consider becoming a member starting only at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there, but check it out. This is what allows us to be on these airwaves as well as have these lights on. So thank you guys for becoming members and then staying members. It goes a long fucking way, man. Little side note here, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, as well as the political campaign trail. So make sure you guys follow me over there. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. We also have a Discord server for all of you legends. One of the mods will drop that Discord server for you guys. We have the majority of you guys in there, but let's go ahead and get the rest of you. And if you guys are watching this on the playback, go into the video description down below of any live video, and it'll have all the invite links and all of that stuff. All right, and last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, then we have these platforms right here that you guys can donate to. And, of course, I will shout it out just like a super chat. And I've got my email up, so if anything comes through, of course, I will read it out loud. So, all right, great to see everyone in here, man. Let's see, we got all of you legends in here. We got Jimmy Mack as well as Naomi. Good morning to you. Great to see you. We got Steve Easy as well as Papa D coming in with the $2, man. I very much appreciate that. He's saying, morning, sir. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat, bro. Let's see. Oh shit, Pitbull's in here from over there from across the pond over there in the UK, and he says it is his son's birthday, his 4th birthday. So happy 4th birthday to your son, Pitbull. That's awesome. We got Vanguard Ratchet in the building as well. Good morning to you. We are scrolling down as fast as I possibly can. We got KP as well. Battleships. That's right. Super chat. I see you in the building. Hit that like button. That's right. Facts. Major facts. We got Poncho as well. Good morning to you, kind sir. All right, we're going to get right into this. We got a lot to get through, at least with what we have. Again, I told you guys there's going to be a lot of shit regarding, the new batch of Epstein files are released and mentions Trump. We're going to get to that. But obviously, I'm not sure if any of us are going to have the proper actual story yet. But that's just what I'm guessing. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this and see what's going on with this $3,000 offer.
This is a statement where Secretary Noem has announced that the Department for Homeland Security will give, and this is the quote from Fox and Friends, illegal migrants a $3,000 holiday stipend if they self-deport by December 31st. And I wanted to share a...
Now, believe it or not, I know some people are like, well, I don't think anybody's self-deports and blah, blah, blah. No, a lot of people actually have self-deported, like a lot. So adding this incentive is a big deal.
A little bit more directly from the DHS website, saying that the Department of Homeland Security is continuing to deliver this holiday season on its promise to help illegal aliens in the United States return home. That is a quote directly from the DHS government website saying...
So the original incentive was $1,000. This is an increase from $1,000 for self-deportation. So they added $2,000 to the list, or to the offer. Interesting.
Illegal aliens who sign up to self-deport through the CBP Home app by the end of the year will receive a $3,000 stipend in addition to a free flight home. Secretary Noem speaking with Fox and Friends just a short time ago. Let's play that out.
Madam Secretary.
Here she goes.
It's home for the holidays season, so not only are we returning those kiddos back to their families that Biden lost, we also are saying that if you voluntarily want to go home now to your country, if you're in this United States of America illegally, we will give you $3,000 through the holidays to send you home. We'll buy you a ticket, give you $3,000 to go home, and that includes people that have not been detained, maybe have interacted with us, are detained and don't have criminal charges against them. Yeah, raise your hand. We'll help you get home. We'll facilitate it, and you might get the chance to come back to this country the right way someday. If you wait until we interdict you and detain you and arrest you and have to deport you ourselves, you'll never get the chance to come back. So go on the CBP.
And you ain't getting that $3,000. Shit.
Bruh.
CBP Home app and get the information, and we'll make sure you get home in time.
What's up, Mountain Woman? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat.
For Christmas.
So that was the quick soundbite from Secretary No making that announcement earlier today on Fox and Friends, saying that undocumented migrants who self-deport through the Home app by the end of the year will receive a $3,000 stipend in addition to a free flight home. We did want to.
Oh, and a free flight home. So, damn, that doesn't come out of the $3,000. Wow. All right, we're going to move on, though, because there wasn't much more to get from Noam there. Kilmar Abrego Garcia will remain free through Christmas, judge says. This came out yesterday, right after the, probably like 4 or 5 hours after the show yesterday morning. But nonetheless, I didn't even watch it, but I did see the headline. So let's go ahead and check it out together.
I want to show you let's go out to Maryland right now, where a federal judge was going to decide whether Kilmar Abrego Garcia should return to immigration custody. Let's listen in right now on Live Now from Fox.
What's up, Bob? Up there in Canada. Always appreciate you. I need to sneak in and go home for $3,000 for Christmas. I heard that, bro. Oh, Jesus. I could definitely use $3,000 too.
Good afternoon. Thanks for being here. My name is Simon Sandoval Motionberg. I'm a partner with Murray Osorio PLLC.
This guy, man, I remember during this whole beginning phase of Abrego Garcia, this guy right here speaking, and it was like, I got a question for you.
Why are you gay?
And together with Quinn Emanuel, we represent Kilmar Abrego Garcia in this matter. Yet again, for the 7th or 8th time, the government employed the tactic of sending an attorney into court who feigned ignorance as to what the government's plan is for Mr. Abrego Garcia. Sort of said, I don't know if they're actually planning on rearresting him. I don't know what the basis would be. They might do this, they might do this, they might do this. And so the district judge obviously found that, as before, a little implausible that in a case of this nature that, we've now learned has been considered a priority for the highest levels of the Justice Department, that they really haven't even decided what they're going to do here. So the government gave the district judge gave the government until the 26th of December, that is to say Friday, to actually answer the question. What is your plan for Mr. Abrego Garcia? Are you planning to rearrest him? If so, why? We'll then have the opportunity to respond to that, and then based on that, the judge will decide whether to convert her temporary order prohibiting his rearrest into a permanent order.
At that, it's only on one ear. Remember when the boomers and Gen X, I think, did that whole one earring thing? Yeah.
Why are you gay?
Or whether to dissolve it. So as of right now, Mr. Abrego Garcia is going to return to his home with his wife and his children and his family members in Maryland. And he will be at home through Christmas and New Year.
Oh my God. No one understands what the fuck you're saying.
But we're very much not out of the woods yet, right? I mean,
English, motherfucker, do you speak it? Just saying. We got Tiffany up in the building. Appreciate you. And Papa D corrects me and says Gen X is where it started, not boomers. Got it.
the government,
That's right.
to me at least, it's clear that the government is willing to do whatever it takes, sort of give
Crystal
any
Kitten,
legal
good morning.
justification, any factual justification whatsoever to put this man back into a detention center. And we all see that there's no reason for that. We see that there's no basis. Yet again, who's keeping...
And you got to love how that is not how anybody plays by anymore, Papa D. No one of my generation or below, no one played by that rules. Only you guys did. You guys made that shit up, and then it didn't follow.
Mr. Abrego Garcia in the United States right now is the federal government. Right?
The one ear is very gay.
Garcia, if he was allowed to sort of choose his path, he would have been in Costa Rica months ago, right? And so it's actually the federal government that's keeping him here.
No, it meant that you were not gay back then. But now, secretly, it's funny because it's totally different because it is gay.
The United States right now, in order to keep him behind bars of an ICE detention center, and now put him back behind bars of an ICE detention center. Again, they're insisting on punishing him and using ICE detention, which is supposed to be just...
This guy is just sitting here whining over him. This is Abrego, by the way, right here in the background, right over his, I guess that would be his right shoulder, right?
The purpose of carrying out a removal using ICE detention to accomplish what they weren't able to accomplish in the criminal matter in Tennessee, which is to keep him locked up. But we're not gonna allow that. We're gonna keep fighting for a resolution of this matter that keeps Mr. Abrego Garcia free. Right, his priority right now is to remain
the other one pierced.
free. Again, as I said last time,
what's up, Brody?
We don't consider justice that he be in Costa Rica. Justice would be that he remain here in Maryland, free from the constant threat, free from the persecution of this government, free from the threat that they're going to try to remove him to, whatever 4th or 5th or 6th African country they can name, free from the threat that they're going to send him back to a detention center in Pennsylvania. That would be justice.
Make sure you guys double tap that screen over there on the vertical side and hit the like button on the horizontal, because we got 200 people in here. Make sure you guys do that for me. I very much appreciate that. You don't have to like the craziness around the world, but you guys can like it for me and what we do here.
But an acceptable resolution at this point is the resolution that he's fighting for, which is the ability to take the Costa Rican government up on their offer of refugee status. That offer's been sitting out there since August. When we were last in court, the government said, "Oh no, that's no good anymore." Costa Rica, there's things going on that you don't know.
That is hilarious, Steve Easy. Yeah, my generation was very loud about it. You guys just did it in secret, so nothing changed.
With Costa Rica, of course, that proved to be completely false, as the Costa Rican foreign minister came out just a few days later and said, no, our offer of refugee status still stands. And that's where we left it. And so that's what Mr. Abrego Garcia is trying to do right now, right? He is trying to carry out what the government claims to want in this case, which is his removal from the United States. And they're the ones who are preventing that from happening.
Free Gilmer now! Free Gilmer now! Free Gilmer now! Free Gilmer now!
All right. Now, I don't think we're going to get much more out of this. Honestly, he's just going to sit here and whine over the top of them for another, 15 minutes. Fuck that. We're moving on. We're going to move on. All right, we got San Francisco's power outage. This happened yesterday as well, or I think actually early in the morning, Monday, I think. But the video will tell us. So thousands were still in the dark at just 17 hours ago. Power remained out for roughly 4,700 homes and businesses in San Francisco on Monday morning following a massive outage that began over the weekend. Wow. All right, let's go and bring this up. We'll go and discuss it real quick. All right, and one thing that we got to do is we got to get the money part over. You know what I mean? We definitely got to get that over.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Shit.
Denied.
All right, here we go.
We'll take a look at this. Over the weekend, a massive San Francisco power outage left over 130,000 people in the dark. Self-driving cars were also stalled out as well. There's a live look right now in San Francisco. There's a old journey.
What's up, Hardwire? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat,
song
bro.
called Lights, talking about when the lights go down.
Merry
in
Christmas
the city,
to everyone.
To the day and night action of San Francisco. Well, how about just the lights were completely off for a while in San Francisco. Here's the latest update from KTVU talking about this power outage.
More than 24 hours without power, and for many in the Richmond neighborhood, patience is wearing thin.
I wonder, why it takes so long for the PG&E to restore the power.
The vast majority of the 130,000 customers who lost power were back on by Sunday, but...
So it was a total of 130,000 people that were originally affected
we still have
over the weekend. Wow.
Thousands in the Richmond, Presidio, and some near City Hall were still in the dark.
I mean, thankfully in my garage, I got a little lamp light, so I got a little bit of light.
We just light a candle and talk to each other.
Many are without heat and unable to cook.
Thank God we made huge fish and rice right before the power, so we've been eating that.
Across town, the power was on, but Muni subway trains were at a standstill between Castro and Embarcadero due to the outage, causing some confusion.
We're walking down to the subway, Muni Metro Underground, and everybody's yelling, it's closed, it's closed.
They told me to come up here and take the shuttle bus.
A little frustrating?
Yeah, especially since I'm trying to get to work.
So what caused all this?
The fire ultimately led to the outage.
PG&E now confirming the culprit was an electrical fire at a substation on Mission Street Saturday.
We are investigating what may have contributed to the fire. The damages were extensive.
So Papa Penguin, by the way, did say right up here somewhere, let me... They haven't released the root cause of this fire that they're talking about at the substation. Been watching this closely, and Papa Penguin is definitely one of my main sources on a lot of shit. So if he's watching it like that, it's definitely something that I need to pay attention to.
Complex. So the repairs are complex.
We also saw crews working Sunday to shore up this substation in the Richmond. PG&E now saying...
Yeah, Pablo, I saw that picture of the gas prices currently. It was like, holy shit, over there in California. I remember I used to pay for, $7 or whatever it was for gas there for a while, and it shit sucked.
It may be Monday afternoon before everyone is back on.
And as far as those who might be out without power till tomorrow, we are working around the clock.
But some city supervisors want accountability. Alan Wong calling for a public hearing into why the outage became so widespread, and Connie Chan demanding answers too.
And I think the question is back to PG&E. Again, what is happening? What is the maintenance of the power grid? This is a moment.
Oh shit, Papa D coming in with the $5, man. I very much appreciate you, by the way. He's saying, have a great day. Always got great to hang here with you. Take care. Also, chat. Merry Christmas, blessings, etc. Gotta run. Well, kind sir, thank you. You left with a bang, so I very much appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that like button as well as double tap that screen for me. I very much appreciate your laborious work.
That we need to hold them accountable.
Meanwhile, Mayor Lurie urging residents to look out for each other.
Check on your neighbors, especially those with who are seniors or who may...
What's up, brother, sick bastard? Shit.
Have oxygen tanks that they have needed to be powered. Like, check on your neighbors, especially out here in the Richmond.
All right, that was the update there from KTVU on the massive power outage. And now we are hearing from energy officials right now, PG&E, giving their latest update on this situation. Let's bring it to you from the beginning of this news conference on Live Now.
The country has to offer, and that pretty much is all I got to say, except that if this continues, we're going to have an army of people to respond. It won't be for lack of effort. Both PG&E and IBW 1245 are going to make sure...
So we're not going to tell you exactly what happened here, but... we got a lot of people to respond if anything does happen from here on out, is what he just said, just so you know.
Everybody is here that's necessary to get this done. Thank you.
Verbatim, that's it. That's really what it was.
It sounds like you're saying that most of this is because of this fire that happened, but the power outage started on Saturday morning around 9 with like 1,400.
The audio is really bad on their end. There's nothing I can do about that. Unfortunate, but... we're working with it.
14,000 customers out in the Richmond district. How make this timeline make sense? That started in the morning, but you're saying that this fire started in the afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about it. Make that make sense.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that question. The reported outages in the morning, it's some misreporting, so our teams are clarifying that and engaging. There were no outages that we experienced and confirmed on our system in the Richmond district the morning of. The first set of outages that we picked up was in the afternoon, right around 1:09 p.m. When we experienced the fire and the outage that occurred at this very facility behind us.
So there were no...
but you guys aren't going to talk about the fire much more than just that part?
There were no outages on Saturday morning.
Correct. That we have no record of any outages on our system on Saturday morning to the tune of what you're talking about on 14,000 plus. I know there were a couple of different media outlets that reported on that. Our teams are working on getting that record clear and working with the respective media outlets to provide the appropriate factual information for transparency.
I think it was your map that was saying that there were outages in those neighborhoods at that time. So do you have any idea why the PG&E outage map would have been saying that there were outages in the Richmond at the level that you described, but that wasn't actually the case?
So I don't have that very specific information, so thank you, JD, right? Remember, we don't have that information. I don't have that information available.
Good point, Steve Easy. Very good point. And yeah, I've even watched Transformers blow up. So, I mean, yeah, like Papa Penguin said, to be fair, they blow up all the time.
We'll take that back and ensure that we close the loop with you on that.
Why
and
did
it's
you have
Cali.
a conference like this sooner? It's been 48 hours since this happened. So why was the communication more transparent from the start?
Yeah, no, thank you for that question. So in terms of having a press conference, it was a very dynamic situation when it happened. It was evolving in real time. There was complexity, as I mentioned, with the response, with the fire.
Doesn't sound like there's going to be much more that's going to be answered in this, to be quite real, but we'll go ahead and let him finish what he's saying right here. I'm sure that he just takes questions and says the same shit that he's already said.
Given its electrical equipment inside the building, so the situation escalated very quickly in terms of the communication and the frequency and the cadence of that. We own that. The multiple estimated time of restorations that were not accurate. I talked about that as well in terms of more than 91% accuracy that we see across the system. Obviously did not work here, so we own that as well. And we wanted to ensure we had a level of detailed information that we're able to share here with you because a lot lot of this was moving real time, and as you can appreciate, JD, we didn't have really good insights given the amount of damage our equipment has experienced because of the fire itself. So our focus was to be safe and to be able to restore as many customers as quickly as we could, which is what we did. As we got safe access to the facility, we were able to restore nearly 75% of our customers within the first 3 hours and 50 minutes.
All right, so that's where he's going to leave off on that question. We're going to move on, though, because we got some other shit that we need to discuss here. Trump unveils Navy battleship plan as Venezuela tensions flare. And this did happen yesterday, but I didn't have a chance to watch. So we're going to go ahead and figure this out together real quick. We're not going to watch the whole thing either, just so you know.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Okay, so it is a new battleship that they're proposing here.
It's the first rendering
or
of
battleship.
what we're doing. So I want to wish everybody a big hello and Merry Christmas and welcome to Mar-a-Lago for this exciting announcement of the new Golden Fleet. We're calling it the Golden Fleet that we're building for the United States Navy. As you know, we're desperately in need of ships. Our ships are, some of them have gotten old and tired and obsolete, and we're going to go the exact opposite direction. We're delighted to be joined by Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, who's doing a fantastic job, and
What's up, Brother Slim? Great to see you in the chat.
Secretary of the Navy, John Phelan. Marco Rubio is here, who gave a great few words toward the end of last week. He spoke for a couple of hours on what a good job we're doing, which is true. As Commander-in-Chief, it's my great honor to announce that I have approved a plan for the Navy to begin the construction of 2 brand new, very large, the largest we've ever built, battleships. You know, you used to build the Iowa, the Missouri, the Wisconsin, the Alabama, many others. We had big battleships. These are bigger, but they will have 100 times the, they'll be 100 times the force, the power, and there's never been anything like these ships. These have been under design consideration for a long time, and it started with me in my first...
Well, okay, I was about to say, if it's only a year, that ain't like extremely long or anything. But if it started legitimately in his first, then okay,
term,
you know, sure.
So I said, why aren't we doing battleships like we used to? And these are the best in the world. They'll be the fastest, the biggest, and by far 100 times more powerful than any battleship ever built. So if you look at the Iowa, the Missouri, Wisconsin, Alabama, and others, but they were similar in size, some a little...
Roll Tide, baby.
A bit bigger than the others, but if you take the biggest one, it's 100 times more powerful. They're longer by a little bit, but and they're bigger ships, but they hold much more.
I don't know what defines a super destroyer, Papa Penguin.
They use the word lethality.
I'm ignorant.
Battleships are the largest, sturdiest, and most heavily armed vessel built specifically for naval combat. While America has built many new warships over the years, they've tended to be smaller and much smaller, and not conducive to where we are and where we're going and peace through strength. But including, we've been building aircraft carriers. We're going to be upping that also. We're going to be going to a superior aircraft. We have the Ford class. We're going to be upping that to a different class of aircraft carrier. And we haven't built a battleship since 1994. These cutting-edge vessels will be some of the most lethal surface warfare ships. It will be actually the most ever built other than our submarines. We have submarines which will have, in many ways, even more...
What's up, Straight Jacket? Good morning to you.
...lethality, and we have many of them under construction. Each one of these will be the largest battleship in the history of our country, the largest battleship in the history of the world ever built. And again, it's 100 times more powerful than the previous Iowa class, it's called. Those are the big ones that you'd see on a show. Victory at Sea. I don't know if anyone's seen Victory at Sea, but it was a classic. They'll help maintain American military supremacy, revive the American shipbuilding industry, and inspire fear in America's enemies all over the world. We want respect. We're going to have it. We already have it. We're more respected now than we ever were. A year and a half ago, they laughed at us. Now they respect us again at levels that they've never respected us. We envision that these 2 ships, we're talking about 10, but we're going to start with 2, and we're going to quickly morph into 10. And ultimately, we think it's going to be anywhere from 20 to 25 of these. But we're starting with the first 2 immediately, and we're going to then be very quickly involved with, I think, we're going to do another 8. And then we're going to ultimately, and pretty quickly, have a total of about 20 to 25. We'll make that determination. We envision that these ships will be the first of a whole new class of battleships to be produced in the years to come. From Theodore Roosevelt the Great White Fleet. You remember that? The Great White Fleet, to the legendary USS Missouri, whose massive guns helped win World War II. America's battleships have always been unmistakable symbols of national power. We stopped making them for whatever reason, I don't know. And I want to congratulate John Thalen, who is your secretary of the Navy.
Good morning, Gary. Great to see you on this Topless Taco Tuesday morning. Great to see you.
He came to me the first day we met. He talked about battleships, and I said, "You're absolutely on the right track." He said, "Why are we doing other things? We have missiles, which are much more expensive." By the way, these battleships have tremendous numbers of missiles, but they also have guns. And in many ways, guns can do the trick just as well as missiles at a tiny fraction of the cost. Once completed, these new 30 to 40,000 ton plus vessels will be the flagships of the American naval fleet, and there has never been anything built like them. And I just want to...
What's up, Brother Perez? Good morning to you as well.
I want to be very clear that we're building them here. We're working with others, but we're building them here. We have great Navy yards. We'll be negotiating with some of the companies that are running those yards, taking over the yards. We used to build a ship a day during World War II. Now we don't do ships very much anymore. We do military ships, we do submarines. By the way, we're 15 to 20 years advanced in our submarines over anybody else. That was one of the things that I did in my first term. We make the best submarines by far in the world. We're at least 15 years advanced ahead of anybody else in submarine development. Most powerful, that's right, the most powerful weapon anywhere in the world, undetectable. So the battleships are going to be armed just in terms of guns and missiles at the highest level. They'll also have hypersonic weapons, many hypersonic weapons, state-of-the-art electric rail guns, and even the high-powered lasers that you've been starting to read about. We have lasers where you aim the laser at a target, it just wipes it out. We're going to have, they'll be the most sophisticated lasers in the world, and the most sophisticated laser in the world will be on the battleships that we're building. They'll also carry the nuclear-armed, sea-launched cruise missiles currently under development, which will be instituted pretty quickly, but they're under development, and they've proven to be
nuclear weapons, right?
Extremely lethal. The U.S. Navy will lead the design of these ships along with me, because I'm a very aesthetic person, alongside our partners in American industry, and we're going to have Pete Hegseth and Marco and a lot of very talented people involved, but a lot of it's already been done. We've been doing this for months. The construction will create thousands of American jobs. We're going to have the jobs be created. I mean, already we have factories being built unrelated to this, although AI will be a big factor when it comes to these ships. They'll be very AI controlled. Today's announcement is yet another step in our mission to make the United States Navy stronger than ever before. Again, when you talk about 100 times the power of these massive ships that we had years ago, it's pretty amazing. And next week, I'm going to meet with the defense prime contractors. I'm going to meet with them here, Florida. And we're going to be talking about production schedules because they're too slow. We have many countries out.
Shit, real quick, we got to go ahead and make you guys obey real quick.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
Shit.
That are wanting to buy. We make the greatest equipment in the world by far. Nobody's even close, but they don't produce them fast enough. So we're going to be meeting with them to talk about the production schedules. We're going to have strong production schedules. And the only way they're going to be able to do that is to build new plants. Even with the F-35, we have many people want the F-35 fighter jet, and it takes too long to deliver them to allies or to ourselves. It takes too long. The only way they're going to be able to deliver them is if they build new plants. They don't want to build new plants because that's expensive. So we're going to be discussing production schedules. We're going to be discussing CapEx spending. We'll be discussing the pay to executives where they're making $45 and $50 million a year and not being able to build quickly. They're going to make that kind of money. They have to build quickly. Again, we make the best equipment in the world, but they don't make them fast enough. And we're going to be also discussing dividends. We want the dividends to go into the creation of production facilities. So we'll be talking about all CapEx, dividends, and the pay. We're also going to be talking about buybacks. They spend so much money on buybacks. They want to buy back their stock. I don't want them to buy back their stock. I want them to put the money in plant and equipment so they can build these planes fast, rapidly, like immediately. I mean, I have sold more planes than any president by far, times probably 20. So every time I go someplace, I sell 100 planes. That includes commercial planes, Boeings, etc., but it also includes fighter jets.
That's his audio, by the way, or Fox's program or whatever.
And I'm always having to say 5 years, 6 years, 7 years.
It'll fix here in a minute.
Apache helicopters, many years. India bought them. They want to get them. They don't want to wait a long time. So we don't want to have executives making $50 million a year, issuing big dividends to everybody, and also doing buybacks. And then they say, well, we don't have the money to build the plant. They got to build plants. Plants to make F-35s, plants to make helicopters, plants to make the F-47 new jet. And that's it. And that's what I'm going to be talking to them about. They're going to start spending money on building airplanes and ships and the things that we need, not in 10 years and 15 years. We need them now. And we're strong about it. Last week, the Navy announced a brand new class of frigate, and they're going to be working with a South Korean company. Hanwha, a good company, recently agreed to invest $5 billion in Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. We're opening up the Philadelphia Shipyard, once a great yard. Now it was a long time ago decommissioned, but now it's reopening. Working with the Navy and working with private companies. The record-setting defense bill I signed last week authorized $26 billion to build new ships, including destroyers and various others. We already have a lot of submarines, as you know, under construction. We're building a lot of submarines. I tell you, to be exact, we have right now 15 submarines under construction or ready to start. And we have, again, the greatest submarine in the world with our technology, like they talk about ships. Well, I would say submarines are a bigger deal than ships. We're at least 15 years ahead of any other competitor. China, Russia, nobody can come close. We're also building right now 3 large aircraft carriers in addition to the ones we have. And we have, actually, interestingly, we have a lot of submarines. How many submarines do we have now altogether, approximately?
Oh, shit.
Huh? What? Over 30. We have over 30. But these are the super-duper subs, and there's nothing like them. So we're going to be doing from 12 to 15 brand-new submarines. We have a couple of other things going on. We'll be building other elements of Navy. We'll be fixing up headquarters. We'll be fixing up places for our great sailors to live. And we're going to be working very hard with companies, but we're also going to be penalizing companies that aren't doing a good job. For instance, when they built...
So he's going to tariff them. That's what he's saying.
The Ford, Gerald Ford, the cost overruns were ridiculous. That was done in Norfolk, Virginia. We're going to be talking about that with that company.
I'm surprised that he's talking about United States companies here.
Cost overruns were out of control. In World War II, the United States built upwards of 4 ships per day. Can you believe it? 4 ships a day, on average. And now they weren't all big warships.
I thought he was going to get on like with materials and stuff like that, but guess
ships,
not.
But there were ships, freighters, tankers. And it's a tragedy that we allowed this incredible capability to just go astray. We don't do that much anymore. We do build our warships, but that's about it. But that's a lot. We're going to restore America as a major shipbuilding power. We're going to ensure the USA is the most powerful fleet anywhere in the world. And long into the future with battleships helping lead the way and the submarines. And again, nobody competes with us on submarines. So I just want...
Yes, make sure you guys double tap the screen. We got 336 of you guys in here, so I very much appreciate that. As well as hit the like button on the horizontal side.
I want to thank everybody, and I'd like to ask Secretary Hexet to say a few words, followed by the Secretary, but if you would, Secretary of the Navy. But Pete's doing a fantastic job. By the way, we have... drugs are down 96.2% coming into the United States. 92.6 by sea. And soon we'll be starting the same program on land. The land is much easier. But every one of those boats that we knock out saved 25,000 lives. So we save 25,000 lives every time we knock out one of those boats with the drugs pouring in. And you just have to see it. It means people say, oh, gee, do you think it was really drugs? Well, just take a look. Bags all over the place. That's not fishing equipment. There's no fishing rods on those boats. They move fast. When you see a...
What's up, Carrie? Good morning.
...boat with 4 engines or 5 engines on, going 40, 50 miles an hour, well, they get hit. We save 25,000 lives every single time we knock out a boat. And it's over 96% stopped by sea. We're trying to figure out who the other 4% are, frankly. And
bro, those drugs are coming from China and Mexico. Let's get real.
We're going to have the same success, but even quicker, because it's much easier on land. If they want to come by land, they're going to end up having a big problem. They're going to get blown to pieces because we don't want our people poisoned. 300,000 people died. Probably last year, 300,000. A lot of people say it was...
Yeah, but they're not the major producers of fentanyl. That's what's crazy about it. Yes, does Venezuela ship out drugs? Fuck yeah, they do. All those quote-unquote drug boats, yeah, those were drug boats, by the way. But they're not moving fucking fentanyl. Those guys are moving cocaine.
200. Somebody said last night, it was only 175,000 people. That's like 3 stadiums, big football stadiums filled up with people died. But I think the real number is 300,000. We're not going to have that anymore. So we're doing a great job, and we enjoy doing it. Our border is secure. Our country is strong. Trillions of dollars is coming into our country from other countries and companies. They're building factories and plants, including auto plants, all over the United States of America. Without tariffs, they wouldn't be doing anything, although they were very happy with the November 5th election. But it's only because they want to avoid paying tariffs that they're all coming in. And again, the biggest number was $3 trillion in history. That was China many years ago. Now it's $18 trillion, and that's just in 10 months. We think we could hit $20 trillion. That's investment in the United States, including plant and equipment. So thank you very much, and I'll ask Pete to say a few words, and then John. And if you have any questions, we'll take them. Thank you.
Well, Mr. President, you're exactly right. There are no fishing poles, no fishermen, and no fishing boats, just drug dealers and narco-terrorists. And with every strike, we're saving American lives. No other president was willing to do real deterrence. That's exactly what's happening. It's an honor to be here, Mr. President, Mr. Secretary, Secretary Rubio, to talk about what peace through strength really looks like. You can talk about it, or you can invest in it, and you can build it. And that's exactly what President Trump is doing. At the Department of War, we're restoring the warrior ethos. In fact, the president mentioned the NDAA. We put into law merit-based. We put into law getting rid of DEI and political correctness. That's now part of how our military operates. And you've seen it in record recruiting in the spirit of the Department of War. We're rebuilding the military. President Trump did it once. He's doing again with historic investments today in shipbuilding. And we're reestablishing deterrence. Whether that's at the border, whether it's through Golden Dome, what happened with Midnight Hammer and what Iran found out, those drug boats, and of course the Houthis opening up the shipping lanes. American strength is back on the world stage. And the announcement of the Golden Fleet, anchored by new battleships, the biggest and most lethal ever, accomplishes all 3 of those things and marks a generational commitment to American sea power. Across the entire department, we are developing new operational concepts, deploying cutting-edge technologies, and making major investments, including in our Navy. This is happening in all domains, including space, as the president has talked about before anyone else. So it's the highest of domains and the lowest of domains undersea, and especially today in sea power, that always has to be decisive, has been in the history of America, and will continue to be under the leadership of President Trump. We will make sure that anything that flows from our country and with our allies flows freely and uncontested. New and better ships will provide that deterrent today and for generations to come. This new class, these new investments, will be the types of things that for decades, for centuries, the American people will look back and thank President Trump for having the vision and the willingness to invest right now in capabilities we need today, tomorrow, and long into the future. So, Mr. President, thank you for this investment, and I'll hand it over now to the Navy Secretary.
Mr. President, Secretary Hegseth, Secretary Rubio, thank you for being here on a very consequential day. From my very first conversation with President Trump about serving as a Secretary of the Navy, he's talked about the great Iowa-class battleship and why America doesn't build ships anymore with that kind of offensive firepower that takes the fight to the enemy. During my time in the job, I've talked extensively with our combatant commanders, like Admiral Paparo and Admiral Cooper, and our CNO, Admiral Cottle. And what I've learned is that not only is the president's idea a good one, it's something that Navy desperately needs and now has a formal requirement for. The future Trump-class battleship, the USS Defiant, will be the largest, deadliest, and most versatile and best-looking warship anywhere on the world's oceans. I want to thank the president for his vision to make this game-changing capability for the United States Navy. The Iowa was designed to go on the attack with the biggest guns, and that's exactly what will define the Trump-class battleships. Offensive firepower from the biggest guns of our era. This ship isn't just to swat the arrows. It is going to reach out and kill the archers. And for the first time in generations, we'll have a new leg in America's nuclear deterrence, because the Trump-class battleship will carry the nuclear-armed sea-launched cruise missile. Striking dominance isn't all that the Trump-class battleship brings to the fight at sea. It has the size and capacity to serve as a flagship for our fleet commanders so that they can command and control naval forces far out to sea. As shown in the series, and the president mentioned it, Victory at Sea, Admirals Bull Halsey and Raymond Spruance commanded the war in the Pacific from their battleship flagships during World War II.
Cool, man. I don't care about that. All right, we're going to move on from this. we've heard enough. I've given length for all these men to go ahead and speak, besides Rubio, but whatever. All right, so Mexican Navy medical plane crash in Texas. At least 3 dead, unfortunately, 15 hours ago. So let's go and bring this up. We'll talk about it briefly real quick.
We are also following some breaking news out of Galveston, Texas. This is from Fox 26 in Houston. They say multiple agencies are undergoing rescue efforts after a reported plane crash in Galveston Bay. Now, we do have Fox 26, which is live on the scene right now. Let's take you to their show. They have a reporter reporting live right now.
Last hour and a half that we've been here on scene, Galveston County has been here on scene telling us some updates as to what's going on. We have been able to confirm that that plane was a Mexican Navy plane that had about 8 people on board. It was a medical flight from La Fundación Micho y Mao, which is a foundation that helps transport child burn victims. We do want you to take a look at this video on your screen. It shows the scene a little bit earlier in the day where you can see a little bit of that low visibility that seemed to have could have been a factor to this plane crash. That hasn't been confirmed yet, but that is what it seems to be. We are learning, again, new information. We're waiting for Texas DPS to get here on scene as DPS.
I forget what those are called, but like something like Satan's Claw or something ridiculous. I forget what it's called. You guys would have to let me know.
And the FAA are the lead agencies that are investigating this incident. This is the absolute latest confirmation that we have. So again, we do know about 8 people were on board. This was a medical flight from a Mexican Navy plane, and several people are dead as a result. We'll bring you the latest on Fox Local, both on air and on the line. In Galveston, Angie Rodriguez, Fox 26 News.
Angie, before you go, can you just talk a little bit about the scene? You've been there for a couple of hours.
What's up, brother Chris Lestrange, over there in South Africa? Always appreciate you, my man.
Now, how has that scene changed
Good afternoon.
at all as day has now turned into night, which I would imagine make those search efforts very difficult?
Yeah, I can imagine too, because we have seen a couple more vehicles pull up. We actually saw, and I want you to take a look behind me. This bus here actually is supposed to be one of the ones that helps firefighters. The temperatures drop just a little bit because of that low visibility. That's part of the reason as to why these temperatures are dropping here in this area. It appears we're seeing a stretcher being brought out with towels from EMS, so it looks like they're probably going to be staying here for a while when it comes to officers and officials on
Jaws
scene.
of life.
A lot of
I think that's what it is.
Sirens still on. We do know that this end of the causeway is actually closed off to the public. We're being told by officials to let the public know not to be in this area, but the exit here is still completely open for those that live in this area. I do want to let you know that the exit here off of Broadway Street is still open. If you live in this area or maybe worked in this area or on your way home, that exit is still open. But again, the end of the causeway is really what is being closed off as a part of the investigation. Once we learn more information, like I said, we're waiting for Texas DPS to get here on scene. They're going to be able to kind of update us when it comes to the injuries of those who remained out of the 8 people about that we are learning were on that plane, aside from the 3 that were taken in an ambulance and the several that we know died. So a lot of information still coming out of the investigation.
All right, Angie, really quickly, just to confirm.
So So it happened near Galveston, Texas.
The search efforts continue right now, right? There's still people, search and rescue efforts, the folks on the boats, and they're out there in the water trying to make some recoveries here.
Damn. I mean, there was 8 people on there, and they're trying to still make some sort of recoveries.
It looks like it right now. We've seen a lot of dive teams still out here. We actually saw a couple make their way from the causeway, from the end over here. We saw them pull out, but it seems as though they come out and they come back in. So it looks like they're just trying to maybe switch crews. As you said, it went from day to night, so that could also be affecting this investigation. But as of right now, it still seems that they are searching this area.
All right, Angie, stay active, stay asking questions. We'll get back to you. If you got any new information, let us know. We'll put you right back on the air. All right.
All right, we just heard from a reporter there on the scene in Galveston, Texas. She says 3 people are dead after that small plane crash. This was a medical plane crashing in Galveston Bay near the causeway. At least 3 people killed. 8 people were reportedly on board that plane. And this is a post from the Mexican Navy. They say that aircraft was working with an institution conducting a medical support mission and with a foundation that helps child burn victims. Search and rescue protocols were immediately activated in coordination with local authorities. The event is ongoing and protocols are being carried out in coordination with all relevant authorities. Again, according to Fox 26 in Houston, this plane went down in Galveston Bay west of the causeway. Authorities saying 8 people were believed to be on the plane and 3 confirmed deaths as of this hour, as search and rescue efforts are still underway, according to the reporter there on scene. Multiple agencies assisting with those efforts, and we will continue to stay on top of that breaking news. Again, at least 3 people killed in that medical plane crash near Galveston, Texas. Now, this...
Okay, so real quick, I got something interesting here. I've got some stuff, 2 different stories here that I want to present to you guys, but I'm trying to get this ready for everybody here. Okay, so we've got 2 different stories that we're going to do before we end here. We've got U.S. Strike and video, by the way. U.S. strikes low-profile Venezuelan drug boat in Eastern Pacific, and this happened an hour ago. And then we're going to talk about the Justice Department releases more of those Epstein files, and supposedly Trump's involved in or named in it. So, but nonetheless, we're going to get to that. So here we go. We're going to go into the U.S. strikes low-profile Venezuelan drug boat in Eastern Pacific.
It says, quote, on December 22nd, at the direction of Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, Joint Task Force Southern Spear conducted a lethal kinetic strike on a low-profile vessel operated by designated terrorist organizations in international waters. Intelligence comes
Oh, Papa D, you don't have to pay me for my time. But yeah, of course, you can give me all my social medias and all my contacts are in my description, channel description, all that stuff. You can get it from Naomi too.
The low-profile vessel was transiting along known narco-trafficking routes in the Eastern Pacific and was engaged in narco-trafficking operations. 1 male narco-terrorist was confirmed killed during this action. No U.S. military forces were harmed. And then it does have the hashtag Operation Southern
What's up,
Spear.
Panelverse?
Now, they
And
also
Cal?
posted a video to social media. I'm going to bring it up to you here on your screen.
There we go.
Take a look at this. This video posted by U.S. Southern Command shows splashes of water near one of the boat. After a second salvo, the rear of the boat
Shit.
catches fire.
Those are kinetic strikes right there.
More splashes engulf the craft and the fire grows. In the final second of the video, the vessel can be seen adrift with a large patch of fire alongside of it. Earlier videos of U.S. boat strikes showed vessels suddenly exploding, suggesting missile strikes. Some strike videos even had visible rocket-like projectiles coming down on the boats. The Trump administration has said the strikes were meant to stop the flow of drugs into the U.S. and increase pressure on Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro. At least 105 people have been killed in 29 known strikes since early September. The strikes have faced scrutiny from U.S. lawmakers and human rights activists who say the administration has offered scant evidence that its targets are indeed drug smugglers, and say the fatal strikes amount to extrajudicial killings. Meanwhile, the U.S. Coast Guard has stepped up efforts to interdict oil tankers in the Caribbean Sea as part of the Trump administration's escalating campaign against Maduro. This does come as just yesterday, President Trump also announced a bold plan for the Navy to build a new large warship that he is calling, quote, battleship, as part of a larger vision to create a golden fleet. I want to take us out to a live image that we have at the White House in Washington, D.C., just to recap some of that latest from the press conference that President Trump held last night, along with Secretary Pete Hegseth. Also, Secretary of State Marco Rubio was in attendance. Now, according to President Trump, the ship, the first of which will be named the USS Defiant, will be longer and larger than the World War II era Iowa-class battleships.
Yeah, but okay, we already know. We discussed that already. So now we're going to move into this whole thing regarding the Epstein files here. We're going to figure out what's being talked about here, and we're going to skip around to find it correctly together here. So I've got the entire live here, and we just need to fast forward just a little bit right here. Here we go.
Reuters, as I bring up some more of the footage that had been released. This picture, some of these in particular, were released from the Oversight Dems on their social media account on X. But Reuters saying this, that the U.S. Department has released new trove of documents from its investigations into the late financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, including CCTV videos and legal records. The latest release comprises around 29,000 pages with many redactions and dozens of video clips, including several purporting to be shot inside a prison. Epstein was found dead in 2019 after an apparent suicide in a New York jail. Now, the latest material comes a few days after the Trump administration published a large cache of Epstein files in an attempt to comply with a new law forcing disclosure on the politically fraught topic. However, the releases on Friday and Saturday contained extensive redactions, angering and doing little to diffuse a scandal threatening the party ahead of 2026 midterm elections. On Monday, President Trump downplayed the importance of the Epstein files. Speaking to reporters, he said the material was, quote, just used to deflect against tremendous success by him and his fellow Republicans. The new transparency law, overwhelmingly passed by Congress last month, mandated the disclosure of all Epstein files, despite President Trump's months-long effort to keep them sealed. That was according to reporting from Reuters. So that is the latest breaking news that we have on this Tuesday. As we continue to hear more calls from Congress members and the wider public alike for the release of more documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. Over the weekend, a reminder that we also reported that some of those files had disappeared on Saturday after being released on Friday. The Department of Justice and several of the lawmakers involved in that said it was because they still needed time to redact sensitive information from the survivors. It also comes as just yesterday on Monday, a judge scolded Jeffrey Epstein's longtime confidant, Ghislaine Maxwell, for including confidential victim names in court papers seeking to set aside her 2021 sex trafficking conviction and free her from a 20-year prison sentence. You just saw Ghislaine Maxwell in one of the photos there on the screen. Here we're just rotating to through some more of the photos that had been released, always viewer discretion advised. But going back to this, Judge Paul Engelmeyer said exhibits included with Maxwell's habeas petition, which she filed on her own without a lawyer, will be kept under seal and out of public view.
What's up, brother Dwayne? Good morning to you.
Quote,
Great to see
until
you.
they have been reviewed and appropriately redacted to protect the identities of those victims. So that is the latest regarding Jeffrey Epstein. Of course, any new developments, we'll bring them to you here at Live Now from Fox.
All right, and let's
In the
go ahead
meantime,
and
I do want
see
to turn our attention to some more of
real quick before she gets into weather, which I don't care about. Let me see if there was anything else on the Epstein files on this. No, it wasn't. Okay, so we're not going to see any of it. And then this is where we saw Trump and Mar-a-Lago, whatever, he's over there talking about the battleships. And then there's no more Epstein shit. Nothing. This is current right now. Okay, so there is nothing. We're caught up 100%. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, this is what we do Monday through Friday, and I can't do this without you guys. I'm very appreciative to be able to bring this to you guys Monday through Friday, as well as Saturday morning for members only, man. It's a great fucking time. So, listen, make sure you guys stick around. We're going to be raiding our buddy Chaotic Truth. Let him know that we're coming through with the Mike Ball raid. Anyways, much love, honor, respect, everybody. God bless everyone. We'll see you guys very soon, and be safe out there. And happy, early, Merry Christmas, all that shit, you know, if I don't see you guys in between. Much love.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul, with a heart steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his step, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.